Hi, my name is Missy, and I'm a poet. I write about things that are hard to say, that are hard to talk about. It's an art form that I think is on the resurgence. I think that being able to condense your feelings in such a short way can be very difficult and challenging because we all have a tendency to editorialize and want to give opinions, especially in this day and age of social media. We have a great gift that we are able to share with friends and family and strangers how we feel, what we think. This has given people who are not writers or artists a platform, if you will, which can be good or bad. I lately have been struggling a lot to really communicate authentically and being able to say what I feel, but I think it's a hard age to really put a lot of our feelings into words. Sometimes we feel like there aren't words to really describe how we feel or what's going on around us. Things seem extreme and difficult, and we're not taught to really value our emotions, especially as women. Over years, we've really been taught that to be emotional is a bad thing. Which is funny because I was thinking about how I write poetry and how sometimes I realize that I'm making faces and contorting my body, and it's almost like having a baby for me. When I write poetry, it's like it's such a process for me to just get it out. Sometimes I'll lie on the ground. I can only imagine what people think when they see me like at a writing retreat, or just like I'm like pulling my hair and just trying so hard. There are these feelings that I feel like are very hard to express, and being suppressed in society, if I can think of a way to even put this into words. When you do finally get a chance to really say how you feel, it can be a really great release. So, anyway, without getting too philosophical, because I was not a philosophy major, okay? I have this poem I've been working on. I wrote it August 15th, 2005, which is 15 years ago, almost to the date, which is weird that I would get into it now. But I revised it at one point in 2012. And then today I thought I would take a look at it again and make a few changes. In this way, I think a poem is living just like us. So it can change and evolve as our lives change, we change. I've never been a big fan of revising poems. Like, to me, it's like I feel like I get it out, it's done, it's over. And with this poem, I keep feeling like, oh my God, I'm ruining it or something. But I keep my revisions, and so I always have like this progression of where I started, how it's moved along, and then what it is now. And I don't think we should think negatively about it. I think for some of us, the ego gets in the way, and we think, "Oh, I wrote it. It's perfect. Don't ruin it." But I think to look at it as an evolution of art and how our life is always changing, and we can't control that. It can be good to accept, art as it's changed over time. So I thought I would read. The title of the poem is called "The Luxury of Serenity." In this age, calm wanders in secret. Even in sleep, the devil dominates through nightmares, exhausted bones, and the rattled mind. We struggle against the present, voraciously consuming the bitter green fruit of tomorrow, the soft wood stolen from our children. Tranquility roots in the dew-damp benches below a chickadee's haunts, forged in the innocence of a young person's thoughts before the stain of maturity teaches them angst. Silently, in the slow grass with its small guests sleeping below the visor of oblivion, woke in the whispers of death's newest members as they send out solace to the souls stretching through stages. And singing in the stroke of art, brushed canvas breaking through the divide. Maybe I'll never be happy with this poem. The poem's over, by the way. But to be honest, I wrote this poem at a Catholic shrine. I grew up Catholic, and one of the places we went as kids was the Cross in the Woods, which is a Catholic shrine in northern Michigan. It's like this giant cross in the middle of nowhere. It's like the largest wooden cross, at least in the United States, probably the world. It's all hand-built. It's always been kind of a magical place. For so many years when I would go there, it was always raining. So it was always very damp there. It's like a wooded area. There's all kinds of little shrines and religious statues. There's a church there. There are benches outside. They do outdoor mass. It's just this place that I always thought was very peaceful. So as an adult, I went there and I wrote some poetry there. And this is one of the poems, although it's been revised, that came out of that, just sitting in nature and just really thinking about what's going on in life and where we're at. And it's funny how even 15 years later, many of the same thoughts and feelings I had then are, in line with how I feel today. This feeling that we are racing through our lives and just going so fast, production, industry, everything is so sped up in our digital society that sometimes there is so much that we miss, so much that we dismiss. So I think the beauty of this poem itself is just a reflection of my desire to slow down, listen to what's really happening in nature. I think that's important. We're very quick to judge, very quick to speak, very quick to act. I would like to live with more intention and reflection. And I think that poetry helps do this for me. I know other people have different outlets and whatnot, and I don't mean to go on and on and on about such a thing, but this is just where I'm at. I just really wanted to get across the idea of the poem. Not so much about me or about the Catholic shrine, but more about this idea of finding peace in such a noisy, destructive, sometimes awful world, which can be depressing and so hard to take. As I get older, I'm 43 years old now, and I realize what a gift my life has been, despite what's happened to me or what I've lived through. I have lived for 43 years, and not everyone gets to live that long. And I would like to be thankful for that, express my gratitude, and really spend the rest of my life living as intentional and authentic as I can, which I know is something I say all the time. But I think today I'm just going to make a recommitment to that. And I hope everybody who would watch this would take away something positive from it. And feel free to comment. I'm just a poet. My name is Missy. I'll talk to you later.